second week in a row, we are talking about the situation in Ukraine. Russian forces continue to advance. The word out of Ukraine, and I'm a spectator as much as any of you, is that there is a large convoy approaching the capital of Kyiv, and the city of Kharkiv in the northeast is being shelled. Ukrainians have claimed that the Russians have used thermobaric weapons, but I haven't seen confirmation of that yet. This is not the war Vladimir Putin was intending. For whatever reason, overconfidence, delusion on his part, bad Russian military intelligence, who knows? The Russians seem to expect this to be a mere matter of marching. That's a line I used in my post column a few days ago. It's what Thomas Jefferson said would be required to conquer Canada in 1812. I think you all know how that worked out. We continue to watch to see what happens. There has been an interesting development on the European front. Germany, which has been, I don't want to say entirely pacifist, because that's not quite right. But, you know, West Germany, since the Second World War, and then since the end of the Cold War, United Germany, has been really reluctant to get heavily involved in military affairs. The legacy of the Second World War and the fact that, you know, Germany kicked off 2 world wars within 20 years of each other, has soured the well a little bit in terms of the Germans being willing to contribute. There's been a big change. The current German governing coalition, if anything, tilts to the left. I don't pretend to be an expert on German domestic politics, but it's not like they have some rabidly right-wing government. They've got like a generic left-wing coalition supported, I think, by the environmentalists. And the Germans have still announced a 100 billion euro immediate rearmaments package to basically shore up the capabilities that they currently lack. And they have said that going forward, they're going to hit the NATO 2% defense spending target. At the same time, we have Finland talking about possibly joining NATO. It has long resisted that. Sweden, likewise. These are massive changes that are sweeping Europe. None bigger than Germany, with the 100 billion euros, and moving to the 2% target effectively doubles their defense spending. Question: what's that mean for us? And I don't mean what does Germany arming mean for us, because it doesn't mean anything directly for us, but what it does do is put pressure on us as the other laggards of NATO. Canadians don't think of themselves as being a particularly powerful or influential country, right? Like we always judge ourselves compared to the Americans, who are the world's superpower. But by NATO standards, Canada is a large country. We are a large economy, and we are notorious flakes at actually owning up to our military responsibilities here. Now, this is complicated, right? Because our procurement system is so broken that even if we announced $100 trillion in new spending today, it would probably all just get swallowed up by the dysfunctional Canadian procurement bureaucracy and wouldn't actually result in any extra armament. So before we go out and you know, rearm ourselves, even if we chose to, we need to make some progress on procurement, or else the blob of government would just eat all the money. But it is going to be interesting politically. We have major defense procurements in this country, none bigger than the CF-18 replacement project, that are now, 14 years overdue. And the reason they're overdue is because consecutive governments have looked at the political and the financial cost of picking a replacement jet, and they've gone, ooh, we don't want to do that. It is time to something or get off the pot here. Pick a damn jet, place the orders, get them as quickly as possible. Get rolling on the submarine replacement, not 5 years from now with a 15-year delivery date. Do it now. Get the ships going. Our naval replacement process is slow. We have a plan to replace our mobile air defenses, a capability we scrapped back in 2012 because Stephen Harper didn't want to spend the $1 billion. He wanted to balance the budget instead. We began a project in 2019, or at least came up with the idea of replacing it in 2019, and we're not planning on getting that capability in place until the end of this decade. I have a better idea. Do it now. Make the decision. Find someone who can give them to us. Either buy the sets whole off an ally, just literally buy them right out of their warehouses, or figure out what company is supplying our allies and buy the damn things. You are going to hear a ton of politicians saying, oh, well, we can't do this, or there's going to take time. It is not time for business as usual. We have seen other allies pivot when they have to. This country occasionally has been able to pivot when speed was in a hurry. Think about early in the pandemic. It is an urgent situation that is showing up how decades of Canadian assumptions about the world and our place in it were wrong. It is time to fix these problems and to do it now, not on a 10 to 15 year Canadian bureaucratic timeline. Do it now. And that starts at the top. Prime Minister Trudeau, it is time to make some decisions. I don't mean a month from now. I don't mean a year from now. I mean by the end of this week.